Alrighty, hey everybody. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll go ahead and get started with our orientation. You don't need to have your mics or your screens on or anything for this, and I do appreciate you guys who did show up. This was by no means required, but I think it'll be really helpful with the online format of this course, especially if you haven't had any prior like Blackboard courses or college courses before. It'll be a big help for you, I think. So we'll go ahead and get started, and I will try not to keep you guys here too long. And if you could please make sure your it's fine if your camera's on, but just make sure your mic is muted just so there's no interference or anything. Yeah, if you could just make sure your mics are muted. Sorry, I've got a few people, I think that's just sort of when the recording publishes, it's going to kind of give some like back feed type stuff. So whenever you can. Also, just want to make sure, can everyone see my screen at this point? If you just will leave a comment and just let me know. And can hear me, I guess. Okay, perfect. Thank you guys for your feedback. Okay, so my name is Sarah Schubert, and I will be you guys' instructor for this course. You'll see me weekly if you do want to choose to join our like weekly Zoom sessions. But again, since this is a totally online class, that is not required from you guys unless you just want to come. I will be here regardless. It'll kind of just be like open office hours. But for the most part, this class is entirely online. It'll be self-directed. You can work on it whenever you are able to work on it throughout the week. I know a lot of you guys are in high school and have outside jobs and other schedules going on. So you really just have to make sure that you are pacing yourself in this course and that you are keeping up with the weekly work that we've got going on. So again, 100% online. We'll get into due dates and kind of how that works in just a few minutes. And that'll sort of, help you as far as planning throughout your week and when you choose to work for this class and when you don't need to and so forth. This is my just welcome announcement. I just want to make sure I kind of go through everything that we've got going on here. That's the most important stuff that you guys take away from this. The first thing, or we've already gone over that's online. Second, we've got our virtual orientation, which you guys have showed up for, which is great. The third thing on my list here is we do have a census date for this class, meaning that this is the day that you have to become active in the course. Otherwise, you will be withdrawn from the course. So our date for that is January 20th. And basically, that just means that you will need to take our course entry quiz before that date. It is going to be right here on our left-hand side of our Blackboard column there. It just takes you a couple seconds really to do. It's super, super easy, but that's like your entrance into the course. So we'll walk through that a little bit more, in depth in a second, but just the most important date that you need to remember right now is January 20th is the last day that you can enter the course. Again, our class is entirely online. However, you do have to submit assignments weekly in order to remain enrolled in the course. Our due dates are going to always be on Sunday nights. So as long as you are submitting work weekly, you are good on attendance, you will continue to be remained enrolled. The college policy is that if you go inactive for more than 21 days, then I have to withdraw you from the course, and you'll get like a WI on your transcript. If it is pushing that, if it's like around 14, 16 days, and I've been trying to get a hold of you and I can't get a hold of you, I will go ahead and withdraw you from the course. And then if you do happen to like pop back up at 19 days or whatever, I can put you back in the course. But just really watch that date and just make sure that you are submitting your assignments weekly and that you are communicating with me if you are going to be any longer than that. This is another important part of our course. So Gaston College and other community colleges in the area, to make the courses more accessible for students and also more affordable, are not requiring that we have a textbook for this course. So it's called OER content, what we're going to be doing this semester. And we do not have like an official textbook, but we will be relying on a platform called Edpuzzle, where we'll have lecture videos and then assignments and instructions within those. And the Edpuzzles are my lecture videos and my PowerPoints and material and everything. So you'll probably, get tired of seeing me through the Edpuzzle format and everything, but that's how we'll receive our information from this course. You don't need to purchase a textbook or buy anything additionally for this course. Really, it'll all be an online platform for you. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with our little navigation bar here and just go through a couple of those tools and what those mean. And we'll also go through the syllabus to just sort of go over some classroom policies that I have and just the college policies as well. So the first one here, hopefully you guys have been, if you are at this point, if you're on the meeting, you should have access to Blackboard at this point, but if not, we can talk about that at the end of the session. If you joined through the email link or something like that, I'm more than happy to help you get set up on Blackboard, but you will need to have access to that as soon as possible. So assuming you are already in Blackboard and you're on our course, it's the D6D course, that's our section number. This is what your course is going to look like. We've got, let me see if I can minimize this. So there we go. We've got our announcements is the first thing right here. And this is where I will post weekly or even bi-weekly sometimes with just updates, reminders, just feedback on how you guys are doing. And you should also probably get an email every time that I give an announcement as well, unless it's just something that I don't feel like you need to receive through email and through the announcements. But yeah, check your announcements like semi-frequently. I would say probably once a week in case there are any important changes made to the schedule, like if there's an extension or if there's a question that needs to be taken out or, something like that. I would just try to check in weekly with the announcements just to see if there's any updates. But if there is an important update that I feel like you should, know immediately, you'll probably get an email about it as well. But this is where all of those will be documented at. If you need to look back at something that I've sent through an email that's an announcement to everybody, you'll find it here. The second thing here is our syllabus, and we'll just go ahead and click on this and kind of go through what the syllabus is. We use a format called simple syllabus. So you'll see when I click on this here, it's going to take me to a different page altogether. It's a different application than Blackboard, and it takes just a second for it to load. So give it just a moment. Okay. So this is what your syllabus will look like. The just general stuff here is our meeting times. Obviously, it is online, so it really the only thing you need to be concerned about is the dates is when the class runs through. Today is our first day of the course, and then it'll run through May 11th. That'll be our last day in the course. This is just my instructor information, which you can find on the syllabus, or you can find it on Blackboard on the faculty info as well. My office telephone number is 704-922-2335. I am very rarely like, are you going to catch me just like in my office, unless you're just, lucky and we're, trying to get a hold of each other at the same time. So if you don't get me, right when you call me there, just leave a message and I will return your call as soon as I'm back in the office. My email address here just listed there. Honestly, if you have a concern or if there's an issue going on or you're having trouble uploading something, email is going to be the best way for you to contact me and to get in touch with me immediately. So that's my preferred method of contact and the most reliable way for you to get in touch with me and get a response quickly. If you do want to come by my office, I don't really have like official, I do most of my office hours remote. So I'm happy to check in with you through Zoom. And we also have our weekly Zoom check-ins as well. But if you do want to meet with me in person, I'm more than happy to set that up with you. But there isn't like an exact date and time that I will have selected, like just for a general time. I'm in the Robinson Classroom building on the Dallas, on the main Gaston College campus in room 309. And, probably don't need to, meet in person, but if there is some like extenuating circumstance where you need to be in person, that's where you'll find me at. Our our office hours. So this is just kind of going more into the weekly Zooms. So on Mondays at 11 a.m., I will have a weekly check-in. Again, this is by no means mandatory, and I will try to record all of these as well in case you have a concern or like want to hear something that we go over during this, but you are not required to attend these. I'm not taking attendance or anything when we do this. So if you would like to join those, if you'd like to kind of go over what the assignments will be for the week, what you have due for the week, and kind of hear it from me in person rather than just like written it out for you in the instructions, then that's where you'll want to go for that experience. And then I'm more than happy during that time as well to just check in with you individually. If you need to if we need to go to like a separate chat room or something like that to kind of talk one-on-one, we can do that then. But that is when we'll have our weekly check-ins. Again, preferred method of contact is always going to be email, and I will always get back to you within one business day or like within one class day. So, if it might be later in the day, but I will do my best to respond to you as quickly as possible, hopefully before a day has surpassed, but definitely within 24 hours. So I'm not going to go too much into our course description, but essentially what our course is about is it is a mixture sort of art theory, art criticism, and art history. So it'll be sort of a conglomeration of all of those. It's just sort of touching on all the things that there is in visual arts. And we won't really stay too long on any of those categories, but we'll move through all of those, and just so you can kind of know what there is and what art can offer. And if you are just taking this for a gen ed class, then you have a good kind of overhead knowledge. Or if you are interested in like looking more into a subject or a field within the art world, it might can give you kind of like a heads up on that. So let's kind of scroll down a bit to, let's see. We're just going to kind of skip through this stuff. I'm not going to go through every single thing. It's very important. This is just about like technology requirements and whatnot. This class is entirely online. And so it is your responsibility to make sure that you have reliable internet sources, a reliable device to which you can do the work online. Because it is entirely online and you've selected it to be entirely online, you need to make sure that if you do have any problems with your computer, any issues with like your software or Blackboard, that you get those dealt with as soon as possible. This is, there's not really an alternative if you can't get your computer sorted out. So make sure you are up to date on that. You are not having any issues with that. And if you are having issues, that you contact me and Gaston IT, or you get it resolved as soon as possible. So let's that's just sort of detailing all of that. If you want to kind of read through that more, you definitely can. This is about our online attendance and participation, and I've already kind of covered this a little bit, but it is required that you do have a weekly submission to Blackboard, and we do have weekly assignments, multiple types of assignments that are due weekly. And so you should be able to submit something just to prove that you are still remaining in the course. But if you are not participating weekly, and especially if you go over 21 days, you will be withdrawn from the course. This is just kind of detailing the withdrawal process a little bit more. Students who have not participated in class for 21 consecutive days will be withdrawn by the instructor through the 70% point noted by a WI grade. After the 70% point of the class, a grade of an F will be assigned, and the published deadline dates to withdraw from the course of any given semester are available on the academic syllabi or by contacting the records and registration. So if you do that is really important for like the withdrawal date, which for our class is April 20th. If you are withdrawn before that, you will just get a WI on your transcript. But if it goes beyond that, so if it's April 23rd and you have not been active for 30 days or 21 days, you will be assigned an F in the course and you will be removed from the course. So that's just, make sure that you're kind of keeping up with that and that you're not letting that get away from you too fast. I know with like online classes, myself included, taking online classes in college, it's really, really easy for the time to slip away, for 2 weeks to pass, and you just like not even realize that it's happened. So I would, find some method of keeping a calendar, or writing down by yourself, or like in your planner or whatever, the dates that you're going to have to submit things by. That's the easiest way to do it. And you just got to make something work for you so that you're submitting things regularly. So our types of assignments, I went over, but we have like several types of assignments in this class. We've got, and that's not a bad thing necessarily, because that means that I try not to make one assignment be weighted too heavily to where it's going to totally affect your grade if you don't make a good grade on it. Or, if you do make a good grade on it, it's not the like saving grace that's going to pull you out from the ashes. So, it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, but I don't want it to be something to be weighted so heavily that it's going to totally change your grade if you don't do well on it. The first one we've got is participation. And for participation for us, it is going to be an ed puzzle, which is our like videos that we'll watch. And I need to update this a little bit because I think this is for my in-person class, not for my online classes. So participation is our ed puzzle videos, and I'll click on those in a moment and we can kind of go through those together, what that's going to look like. There are a lot of ed puzzle videos. So if you don't watch one, or if you don't score well on one or whatever, it's not going to like make or break your grade. So don't get too worried about the participation. So think about one ed puzzle video out of 100 that you don't watch. And then that one video out of 100 is only, that whole 100 videos is only 10% of your final grade. So, it's fractions at that point. Another 10% is going to be from our final exam. Our final exam, it is very important, and it is, a thing that you should value or take seriously, but it is only worth 10% of the grade. So, I try not to weight that too heavily or for that to determine your final grade that much. Another 15% is going to come from discussion boards. And I'm sure that, if you were in school during the pandemic, or if you've taken any online classes before, you have surely done a discussion board before. But if not, we can talk about it. We can go ahead and go through those together. And there's, specific details as to what the discussion boards are going to look like. Another 15% is going to come from direct assignments, and which are essentially just like discussion boards without the comments attached to them or like the response to other students, but very similar assignments types from discussions to assignments. Another 15% is going to come from our quizzes. We'll have 8 quizzes throughout the semester, 1 for each of our modules, and that'll just be kind of cumulative, going over the material that we have just gone over in the class. And then projects. This is our most heavily weighted category. We have 3 projects throughout the semester, and one of the projects is actually worth more than really any other thing in the class. So while we don't have, I try to split up the work so that we don't have one thing weighted too heavily. We do have one project that it is pretty time consuming, and you will have a while to work on it, that is worth 15% of the grade. So just keep that in mind, and we will kind of go through, more on what those exactly are. There's like the descriptions again of what the different categories are going to look like, and what the different projects are. The heavily weighted project is not due until the end of the semester, and that's the museum project. But we don't need to worry about that right now. So don't even have that in your mind just yet. Just letter grades, all of that sort of thing. Here's a policy that is pretty important for me specifically, that I feel like I need to, make sure that I am pretty specific about. So I do not allow makeup work or late work with this course unless there are really outstanding circumstances surrounding it. So if you are, at the doctor, or if you're really sick, or you just have a dire family emergency, something like that, that's the only way that I will allow you to make up work or to submit late work to me. And if you do have one of those outstanding circumstances, because I know that they do happen, if that does occur, I need to have some proof of documentation from that. So that could be a doctor's note, or something, I'm not sure what exactly it would be, but you definitely need to have some type of physical documentation you can provide me with, beyond just in an email saying, this is why I can't submit my work. I have to have some sort of proof, evidence proof, that you deserve to be allowed this makeup work. I'm pretty stingy about that. And so if you, definitely don't rely on something like that to be a reason why you would submit your work late. If you do have to submit your work late and it is something that you know about like ahead of time, you need to provide me at least 7 days notice that there needs to be an extended deadline. However, if it is something that I don't feel is like acceptable for there to be an extension on, I can deny this request. And that's just my policy. I know that that seems really kind of like rigid and strict, but I have had, a lot of people, especially on online classes, sort of take advantage of being able to submit work late, and also just keeping track of it with so many students is really, really difficult for the instructor as well. And so I've pretty much altogether just cut off makeup and late work. You also must, like I said before, you must provide medical documentation that warrants late work or makeup work, or other like equivalent documentation of something outstanding that would happen. Again, I kind of already gone over this as well, but I do realize this course requires you to submit work online, and that there stands the possibility of the following to happen and more: internet outages, failed Wi-Fi, losing a charging cable, missing the deadline by 1 minute, etc. So I promise I've heard every last minute excuse under the sun for why an assignment is turned in late, and it is your responsibility as the student enrolled in a college level course to take the steps to make sure that these technical issues do not occur. Otherwise, your work will not be accepted. So an outstanding circumstance is not going to be if you message me at 11:50 on Sunday night, 11:50 p.m. on Sunday night, and say that you just got in late and you can't submit your work and you have an extension. That's not going to cut it. Or if you get in and you realize at the last minute deadline that your Wi-Fi is not working or your charging cable is left at school, you are all adults at this point, and you're taking an adult level class and need to be able to keep up with those things. And if it does happen to where one of these things does occur, I hate it, I'm sorry, but that's not going to be enough of an excuse for me to extend the deadline for you. You're just going to kind of have to take that and do better, or think ahead more in the future. Viewing grades on Blackboard, I try to grade everything like the day after the assignments are due. So if you're submitting your work on Sundays, I try to have everything graded like no later than Tuesday, like the following Tuesday. I usually don't grade ahead. So if you submit your work like on the Monday before, I won't get to it until like the next Monday, if that makes sense. So like Monday is the day that I usually designate to grading. Our final exam schedule and information, I don't have that specifically right now, but I will let you know that it is always the last week of school. So the week before the 11th, I believe it starts like the 5th maybe of May. And our exam will be open in Blackboard for an amount of days for you to be able to take it at any point. So it might not be like a full week that it's open, but it'll at least be like 2 to 4 days, I would say, that you have the opportunity to take the exam. And just to be honest, like our exam in this course, I really try to prepare you for it to where it's not a complicated thing that you need to stress out about too much. And you really shouldn't feel like it's going to be like this really big overhead stressful thing once we get there. It will be, you'll be prepared for it once we get to that point. So don't worry too much about that right now, or think it's going to be really difficult. Here's some course topics we're going to go over this semester. Definitely not everything, but try to touch on a little bit of all of it. We've got elements and principles of design, different art mediums, so what we use to create artwork with, and the categories of those. And this is a big one, but our art history unit, we do try to cover everything from like the ancient world until present day. It's very condensed, it's a lot of material, but we try to just give you a little glimpse, a little insight. I don't expect you to know everything about like, ancient Egyptian art by the end of this course, but you could identify like 1 or 2 things, after we go over it. This build a rapport thing, I think this is important just to sort of note with this course, and just, to kind of know me a little bit better as well. I do teach primarily online courses. So along with your course, I have 4 other sections of art appreciation this semester, and they are all online. So, I try to get to know everyone a little bit through your writing and through your submissions, but it is good for me to kind of like know who you are. If you have any questions or concerns, or just like, any thoughts about any of the assignments, emailing me or reaching out to me. Joining the Zoom sessions is always a good way for me to just sort of like get to know you better. And, we can kind of build a relationship that to where I'm more likely to kind of be able to look out for you and know about your history in the future. So I do think it's important with my class and with really any online class to try to make that extra step to get to know you or get to know your instructor and let them know about you and who you are as a student. Just some other kind of things on here. This is just a very overhead thing, but I do want to point out that we do have a no cheating policy at the college. We take that very seriously, and we do have a lot of writing assignments in this course that are online that have been assigned in previous semesters as well. With that said, we also have some pretty strict safe assign like plagiarism catchers. So if you do copy a paper from someone else or even copy as much or as little as a sentence on another website, the plagiarism catcher will catch that and alert the instructor of the plagiarism that's occurred. So please take that seriously. I don't want to have to report anybody for this issue, but I have had to do it in the past. So it's just an important thing to just sort of know for the future. Don't cheat. Don't use a paper from before. It's very, very easy to catch those kinds of things. Okay, so I'm going to move on to, that was our biggest chunk of information. So I don't know what time it is now, it's been about 20 minutes on that. So we'll try to wrap up everything pretty quickly here. So our next thing down on our left-hand navigation bar is our course entry quiz. This is what I talked about being our census assignment. It's just right here. It's open for you right now. I've already had several people submit this, so I appreciate it if you're one of those people who have already turned this in. It takes just a couple seconds to do, but that is your entry into the course. So if you don't want me, oh, hang on. Oh, I don't know what that's about. We're going to try to, okay. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, we'll try to, I'll try to, make sure that I reiterate this a couple more times before the date, but just make sure that you turn that in if you don't want me trying to track you down in a few days when you don't submit it. Our course information is right here. This is our course schedule, just going over each of our assignments week by week. This is going to be like your holy grail. I would print this out probably if I were you, if that helps you anymore. This tells us exactly what's due every single week, where to find it at, and the dates that it includes therein. Also goes back over the methods of evaluation. And then let's see here. This is just some important dates as well, and a reminder on our Zoom times. Additionally, this is my email policy, and this is also in the syllabus as well. I don't think I went over it though. With my email policy, it is super, super important to follow these 3 guidelines. Otherwise, there could be some consequences. You need to be able to use your Gaston College email address that ends in gaston.edu that was assigned to you by the college. If you are using a personal email or even your email from your high school, your that ends in k12.edu, it oftentimes will go to spam or junk. And I also am not allowed to respond to you if you email me with a personal email. I emailed you guys this link and the startup information, all of that to your personal email, but after that initial email, I'm not allowed to use that email again. Additionally, when you do email me, please include your section number in the email. That is going to be for our class, the D6D, at the end of our course section. Like I said, I teach 4 other sections of art appreciation, and with a total of 230 students or something like that, I think. So if I do not have your section number, I have to go, and you have not built a rapport with me, so I don't know who you are exactly. I have to go hunting for you throughout all of my different art appreciation roles. So please do that. It's really, really helpful for me, and it also will speed up my response time a lot more for you. Lastly, below there is a paragraph on etiquette or just etiquette online. Please review that on your own time at some point and make sure that you are using proper spelling, punctuation, and address who you are writing this to, and also conclude with your name. And if these guidelines are not withheld, I will not reply to the email. So if you don't hear from me, just go check back through my email policy and make sure you did all 3 of those things. And if you did not, then try to send an email to me again, and I will more than likely respond. I'm not sure what this timer thing is, but I'm going to try to get through the rest of this fairly quickly. My faculty information is right here as well, just letting you know, who I am as your instructor, my work phone, my classroom building, where my office is, my email address, who I am, just sort of a little history background on me as a professor. And let's see here. Not just a second here. Okay. Right here, this is an important little step. All right, of course, this is going on right now. Okay. Here you can read over this if you'd like to on your own time. This is just kind of going through this like start here module. This is where you're going to pick up first, what the first things that you're going to do before you go into the modules or do really anything else. We've already done this first step here where we're talking about the virtual orientation, and you're in the virtual orientation right now. After joining, you will complete your course entry quiz, and it is important to complete this before the census activity. And lastly, you'll need to complete your first discussion board, the icebreaker assignment. Once you've completed all tasks in the Start Here tab, you're ready to start on Module 1. Module 1 can be located in the Modules tab on the left side of the bar. So our icebreaker assignment is a discussion, so you will need to respond to a classmate. I'll let you read through this just for the sake of time right now, but essentially all you need to do is find a good quality image of your favorite artwork and save it on your computer, and then create a thread onto the discussion board and embed your saved image on your favorite art to the discussion board, and include a short paragraph, about 150 words, about why you've selected this as your favorite. And then task 3 is just to respond to at least 3 classmates in a meaningful way, more than just like good job. And here at the student example as well, the image is not loaded here. It might be loaded on yours, I'm not sure. But this is just kind of going over what that paragraph should look like. Our modules page right here is going to be the bulk of our content. We're obviously not even at module 1 yet. So all you need to be doing this week is the Start Here module. You don't need to be working on this yet at all. Once we do get here though, you'll click on module 1 and you'll see that we've got our PowerPoint and our lesson 1 and 2 ed puzzles that are open. You'll have some more things open when it actually is like time for you to get to module 1, but that won't be until next week. So when you watch your ed puzzle videos though, let's see, what did I do? When you watch your ed puzzle videos, they'll all be right here listed. And I feel like this countdown thing, I'm gonna, if this goes down and it like takes us off of this, I will send you a new Zoom link to your email in like just one moment, and we'll continue this. Sorry, I'm not really sure why this did this, but anyway, the lesson 1 and 2 ed puzzles will be listed right here, and you'll click on the links here, watch the videos, make sure that you watch them all the way through and that you do not miss part of one or you like try to skip ahead. To get full credit, you'll need to watch through the entire thing and also answer any built-in questions that are there with them. And I'm not going to go too much into more detail on the modules just yet. At our next weekly check-in, I will go over module 1 and kind of what to expect from that. The last thing we've got here is the Zoom meetings. When we do our weekly Zoom check-in meetings, we will have them right here. And you will see I've already got several for us every Monday at 11 a.m. that are recurring. And that is when I will go over the weekly content. So I will go over the module 1 introduction and all of that at the next one. But I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully that covered everything for you guys. Just a reminder, assignments are always due on Sunday nights at 11:59 p.m. So our first round of assignments being the icebreaker discussion, which is in our Start Here module right there, will be due on this coming Sunday, whatever date that is, the 15th at 11:59 p.m. And then your course entry quiz will also be due then. But I think that's pretty much it. That's all that we really have to talk about today. If anyone has any additional questions or anything, I will just leave it in the chat and I will start a new Zoom meeting with you. But it was really great to meet you guys and or virtually meet you guys. Hopefully this helped you kind of understand what the course is going to be about and answer any questions that you might have had. This will be recorded as well, so you can definitely reference back to it at any point. And if you have any other questions, just let me know. But you guys are good to go for tonight. And I will look forward to seeing you next week. Stick around if you have any questions though, and I will answer those for you.